Welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. My name is Scott Ellis, and I'm joined by assistant coach Michael Quinn. Mike, the team hasn't played since January 24th, and the Patriot League just announced an updated schedule. You have three games coming up against Holy Cross. What's the team's mindset been these past few weeks, not being able to play games?
Sure, they're excited. They're excited to get back on the court. They've really had a couple good weeks of practice. Disappointed when the games got canceled, but our guys are resilient. They bounce back. They come back ready to practice on Monday. I think we've been able to make some strides, and I think they're chomping at the bit to kind of get back out there and compete against somebody other than their teammates right now.
And the last time y'all took the court, y'all had a big sweep at Lafayette. Do you think you'll be able to continue to carry that momentum from those two wins?
I hope so. It feels like a long time ago, though, doesn't it, Scott? It feels like a long time ago. So I think the momentum that we'll have to carry is more from practice. I think that certainly gave our guys a boost of confidence. And now we had to translate that into a couple good weeks of practice. And I think we've gotten that out of them. So now can we translate that to games and carry that over from a couple good weeks of practice.
Right. And you mentioned how the players are excited. They want to get back onto the court. But obviously, during these times, uh, emotions can be high and people can be stressed with school and games. And that's when you really rely on your players to kind of keep it all together. Who, in your mind, has really stood up as a leader and keeping the guys motivated and on task during this time?
Well, I think you said it there too, Scotty, that there's a ton on these guys' plates, and we're asking a lot out of them. And the best teams are player-led. And I think we've actually, in the last couple of weeks, I think had a couple guys really step up. But the nice thing with this group is we have our older guys who certainly lead, but I think we kind of have a mindset of everybody participates in that. Even guys who maybe don't get a lot of minutes in game, a few guys who have had great energy every day, like Mike Quinn, Tark, Timmy, those guys have brought energy for us every day. And we needed that, during these 2 weeks. A few of the younger guys, I think, are starting to get more comfortable and play better. Miles Brewster being one guy who sticks out. Anthony Morales coming off an injury. He's starting to get himself going again. Damon Tate starting to feel more comfortable, it looks like. So I think those couple of weeks of practice, these past couple of weeks of practice, certainly has helped some of those guys just to get a better feel, and more comfortable in how we're approaching things offensively and defensively.
Right. And like we mentioned, three games coming up against Holy Cross. From a coach's perspective, how do you plan for these three games? Or I'm sure it's one game at a time, but at the same time, how are you going to treat these three games?
Yeah, a little different, right? It's almost like the NBA. They always have their series in playoffs. Uh, um, so it's still, like you said, we're going in preparing for game one. Get ourselves ready to play and play as well as we can. Heading into game one, go out there and compete, try to get that one. And then it'll be adjustments. We'll have to watch the film. Holy Cross will make adjustments. We'll make adjustments. We'll have to see what adjustments they make. But it's still, stay consistent with what we do, and do that for game one, and then see, what we need to improve on first and foremost. And then is there anything Holy Cross is doing that we need to adjust to? But it starts with us. It starts what we're doing. And are we doing what we're planning, our game plan going in? Are we doing that well? That's first and foremost. And then we can make adjustments off of that.
Right. And Coach Jones had mentioned to media back at the start of the season how he was still kind of trying to figure out the lineup and people's roles with the team. I mean, we're about to reach mid-February, but the reality is you're only 8 games into a season, which in any other year, that'd be late November. Do y'all think as a staff y'all have a good idea of this team's identity and the roles, or is it still a feeling out process right now?
I think certainly a better idea. Certainly a better idea. I think it started to kind of flesh itself out over the first 8 games. And again, I think these 2 weeks of practice helped that, because we could really focus on us and focus on getting better and focus on getting our guys more comfortable. it's still, like you said, it's still, it'll still change. It's still, the guys are still getting a better feel and starting to play better. But I think they're all more comfortable in their roles and how we're playing. So I certainly think we've made strides in that. I think it's still a bit of a work in progress, but we're certainly farther along now than we were 2 weeks ago.
Right. And what are going to be the keys to success against Holy Cross?
Yeah, I think a couple things with Holy Cross. They've got some physical players. Gates, Butler, guys that are really physical around the rim. So we're going to have to match that. We're going to have to match that physicality and intensity, and they play really hard. And part of that is their defensive identity is they'll pressure you and they try to take you out of your rhythm. So we've got to really be able to stay aggressive offensively, take care of the ball, and then execute against their pressure. And if we can do that, I think we'll be able to find success on the offensive end. And then defensively, like I said, matching their physicality, staying connected as a group. And then I think if we can do that, we'll certainly play better than I think we did in the first two matchups.
Right. And you mentioned taking care of the ball, and that was certainly a big part of it, the wins against Lafayette in terms of keeping those turnovers down. What is the key? Do you think some of the turnovers are more a result of guys just kind of rushing, trying to create where maybe a play might not be there? I mean, what's the key to keeping those turnovers low?
Yeah, I think you said it. I think when guys are trying to force plays when the space isn't there, and that's what Holy Cross does a good job of. They try to speed you up, so you're making quick decisions and dribbling into spots that there's not a lot of space to go. So for us, just executing how we play, staying aggressive, but understanding it may take a reversal or two for the space to be there for us to go make our play. And I think for our guys, it's them again understanding their roles a little bit better, and then understanding when their opportunities to attack are within the offense. And like I said, I think we're getting there with that. Certainly still a work in progress, but we're getting better with that. And it'll be a good challenge this weekend against a team that pressures you to see how we respond.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Coach, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Scotty.